Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. So I'm sitting on a wall now, and I'd like to share with you a video about the idea of being kind. The the idea that is it okay to be kind? Should we always be kind, or should we always be loving? My Facebook friend, who's a good friend of mine, said to me, "Owen, you're kind of like the only one I know who seems to be able to be kind no matter what situation is." It's an interesting comment, and the thing is, here's the idea: am I always kind no matter what? Is it a human potential to be kind, always kind no matter what? And should we be always kind no matter what? Um, I'm just putting my tripod here on the wall so it can be hands free. So, should we be kind no matter what? Like, there isn't any shoulds or shouldn'ts in life, so there's no reason why we should be kind all the time. There's no reason why we don't have to either. So we don't have to not be kind either. For example, like think of in the Bible it talks about Jesus, and first of all, I want to take a moment to acknowledge the beauty around here. Can you hear all the birds? Absolutely beautiful. Here I am actually sitting on a wall here, the tripod, trying to balance the tripod. But getting back to the point, okay. Um, like sometimes it's good to be to be unkind, so to speak. You know, like Jesus in the Bible, like he ends up like throwing at a whole lot of gamblers or throwing over tables or something like that. I don't really know. It doesn't really matter what it says in the Bible in that instance. It's ask yourself the question: when is it okay for me to express unkindness? What seems like unkindness? There's so many situations. Like if there's somebody bullying you all the time, if you're all Mr. Nice Guy, walking on eggshells and Mr. Goody Two Shoes, then you're gonna keep getting bullied. So you might want to express firmness and tell them off. Like I can imagine Osho, you know, Osho, fantastic. Really, I think Osho was fantastic. I really liked him. From what I know of him and the little bits I've read about Osho, he's just kind of like a very, very deeply aware and enlightened person. So I think he was very misunderstood too, because well, he wanted to challenge people and he triggered many people. So Anthony de Mello, I could easily imagine him being firm and flaring up, bursting into activity against something that wasn't nice in his opinion, that something wasn't right. Me too. Like I've interrupted and shouted at people who have been like really just like I think abusive to me, shouting at me, interrupting me, treating me like crap, kind of basically speaking. Treating like all of them, everybody treats me nicely, except for when somebody doesn't. But nearly all the time people are being nice to me. But if someone isn't and they're doing it more regularly, you got to say no and stand up for yourself in a very firm fashion. If it's a continuation thing over a period of time, uh, it's not all about like trying to be goody two shoes. You know, that's not what spirituality is about. The goal isn't to be always kind. For me, the goal in spirituality is to be aware, to know what's happening, to know what's happening within you, and to understand what's happening in other people too, and yourself. Awareness and understanding, to be aware and to understand. So then you're not under any false ideas of like why someone's doing this or why they're not doing that. And you know why your own behavior is being triggered. So like if you have emotions within you, and you know why you might feel like being unfriendly or why you're being quiet and withdrawn. You know what you need. Like you might need a bit of spare time to yourself, and you can honor these things. But yeah, overall, like I can imagine Osho, Anthony Mello, Byron Katie, Wayne Dyer. Who are the new age type of famous people? Eckhart Tolle, Adyashanti. To be honest, Eckhart Tolle is a very meek person, but I could still imagine him rising up to the occasion if he needed to. The thing is, all of these people, and me too, and you maybe, for sure, who knows, loads of people, you can feel the peace, you can be the ocean of peace, you can feel peace, but at the same time, you can express yourself, which appears like a rough wave. So on the surface, it seems like you're all disturbed, possibly, like, but underneath you're the ocean of peace, the stillness, the peace, just the tranquility, feeling okay. Like, I could imagine all of these people I just said, like, if someone's being like an asshole, I could imagine them saying, listen, you're just being an asshole, right? Hey, you're just acting like a dipshit. I could say it, they could say it. There's nothing wrong with a word, you know. A word is just an expression to try and convey a meaning. The meaning is, I don't like your behavior, like, please just stop it, you know. And you can say this too, but there's no restrictions in life. You can also call someone an asshole or dipshit. It sounds funny saying that. I never really do this, but like, I don't mind doing it in another minute if I feel like it. The thing is, do it with awareness and know why you're doing it. Know how you're feeling when you're doing it and choose to do it. You know, it's different choosing everything in awareness and knowing that it's happening, instead of being the pain body reaction, you know, being the reaction, lost in the emotions, lost in the thoughts. It's like there's an emotion within you, takes control of your thoughts, and then there's like words flop out of your mouth, and it all stems from how you're feeling emotionally. And this happens so much in the more unconscious you are, the more this happens. That's okay as well, there's nothing wrong with that. There's no reason why that should be any different. And if you see other people doing that, so be it. If you see yourself unconsciously expressing disturbance, emotional disturbance, that's fine. Just learn, like, step back and think about it a few moments later, or a few minutes later, or an hour or hours later, and say, alright, well, that happened to me again, like pain body reaction, like, no problem, cool thing. This the shit I've been talking about. Say it lightness, or you can be really angry, you can punch the pillow. Again, if you're expressing and letting out anger or sadness, especially anger, know you're doing it, like punch the pillow, but you know you're acting. You're not lost in the pain body reaction. You're now consciously choosing to release. And breathe. So it's funny talking about all this, like, it's good to talk about it because I hope you share this video too. I know the beginning was a bit slow moving and everything, but people need to know that it's okay to tell people to shut up. You know what I mean, like, act from a tender, compassionate heart, like, be as understanding as possible. But my point is, tell people to shut up who are being abusive to you. The people who are trying to control you and suppress you. It's way better for you to tell them to shut the hell up and don't do that to me ever again, and like, go out of the house in a huff, or seemingly in a huff, just so you don't want any more of their behaviour and you're sick and tired of it. And it's better to say this and to appear to be unkind or unfriendly, and for them to get the point, and then they stop being abusive and mean and horrible and controlling. Okay, so for anyone being abused, I recommend being extremely authoritative, or leave the situation. Like, don't endanger yourself. If you're a woman and you're being abused by a man who's psycho, don't endanger yourself. But mothers and fathers, you shouldn't be suppressing your children and controlling them if they're, you know, if they're of the right age, basically. Human to human, soul to soul, we're all equal. We do have roles as parents, for example, or whatever else. Our job, we have a role, so we have responsibility, but we're never truly above anybody, and nobody's beneath us, and we're not beneath anybody. So children, respect and love your parents, and parents, respect and love your children. Reach a balance of equality. If your child is over 18 especially, or if they're wise and aware, like younger than 18, and they can look after themselves, give them the free rein. Don't be like trying to control them, suppress them, tell them what to do all the time. And always allow people to express their emotions and share with you, like to share their thoughts with you. Allow them to say, hey, I think you're being so controlling and mean to me. Allow somebody to have that perception. If it's wrong, it's wrong. If it's right, it's right. So you just ask yourself, is there any truth in these words? And now just ask yourself, like, okay, well, why are they really feeling this way? You know, always about understanding and being aware, you know. That's why I said awareness. The world needs more awareness, not love. Awareness automatically breeds love. Empathy, which is awareness and understanding, breeds love. Some people try and fake love, but they don't have the awareness and the understanding, and then it's just all ego stuff, pain body stuff, illusionment stuff. So Owen Fox here, that's speaking here. I'm not a goody two shoes. I can express myself. It's about allowing everything. You allow somebody else, like let's say you think someone's trying to be controlling or mean to you. You can express them that you don't like it, and you think this is the case. Look at yourself first, always, of course. Always look at yourself first. Where am I being super sensitive? Where am I being unreasonable or unthoughtful or unconsiderate to them as well? What am I doing to influence the situation for the worse or the better? Okay, now start thinking about how will I start influence the relationship or the situation for the better? And what will I stop doing to stop influencing it for the worse? So look at yourself first, but then get honest with the other person and see where they're being unreasonable or see where you're being unreasonable. And then just communicate. So you allow yourself to communicate. And then if they happen to say, shut up, by like, you're just, what are you on about? You're a fool. Whatever words they use, like let's say they just like brush you off or disrespect you. Okay, allow them to be like that. And now, so that's peacefulness, to allow everything to unfold, to allow everyone to unfold in the moment. But now you're allowing yourself to unfold also. So now you can allow yourself to say, hey, listen, like, don't speak to me like that way, please. Like, this is really important to me, and I'm trying to share with you, and I'd appreciate it if you really like listen to me. Like, we're son and father, we're mother and daughter, we're friends. Let's be nice to each other and listen to each other instead of just brushing each other off. Like, I don't like being brushed off, and I don't put up with it. I don't have any friends like that, and I'm not going to brush you off, and if I do, I'm sorry, and I'll just try not to. So let's try and listen to each other, etc. Just use your common sense and your intuition. Use what resonates and feels good, like a really good idea to you. What feels like a really good idea to your heart? So it's not about being mean. It's not about being mean or inconsiderate either. Try and consider the other person so much too. And just know that they have suffering and problems and hardships. They have conditioning and programming and hurts carrying on still. So as for me, my preference is as tender and kind communication as possible. But on the rare occasion when things have been going on for a long time or for a while, or that things are really bad and unfair, if you think it's really mean, or then that's the time just to be momentarily or for a while, just to be really, really clear and speak up very authoritatively. That's the occasion. But you can mix that in with love, saying, you know, this is just so bad, it's so wrong or so unfair in my opinion. And I'm just telling you that, but at the same time I love you, and I'm sorry if I come across as being really mean. That I'm not trying to be all mean, and even though I'm coming across this way, it's just that I've had enough of this, and I still love you, but I don't love your behaviour, and I know I'm not a saint either, so forgive my behaviour if it's been bad, and please, I'll allow you to tell me what you don't like about me and my behaviour, so I can change it. And I invite you to please allow me to tell you what I don't like about your behaviour too, so you can change it, possibly if it's a reasonable and fair request. So we'll both mutually do this for each other because we love each other and we're just doing our best. So that kind of sums it up nicely, to be honest. So thanks again. I ask you to do us all a favour, that if you like this video, you go share it for other people to have the opportunity to see and to benefit from. And just as a little sign of a gift or a kindness appreciation to me for making and putting up all of these videos too, you know, it's a nice thing, and I really would appreciate that. I would appreciate that, to be honest. Not attached, but it would be a lovely thing, you know. Just to spread the message on, spread the peace and awareness on. sighing and laughing, really good combination for release. And breathing. This can totally help you in a conflict situation like I'm talking about now. It can help melt the ice and melt your emotions down a bit. So do a little bit of fake laughter. It turns into real in a moment. And then you can sigh and breathe. Slow down, breathe, and look around. And add in some sighing and laughing, and your life will be so much better. Thanks for watching. Lots of love and peace to you, okay? See you next time.